I'm going to start uploading a playlist of videos about court cases, things that I have learned, mistakes that I've done, and all the things I have learned through going through the court process and all that. So stay here in my channel. If you're new to this channel, welcome. So I'm gonna start, because you make mistakes, you an attorney, but you are becoming very savvy about these things, learning these things, and actually becoming an attorney. In fact, this is who all of us have the potential of being. So I'm going to start a series where I will show you step by step how do you deal with court cases, anywhere from a traffic ticket to misdemeanors. Now, with the misdemeanor one, which involves uh, an actual crime, an actual criminal case. Not what the corporation says, the statutes and code says that you're a criminal if you don't have insurance and stuff like that. No, that's not a crime. I mean, common law crimes if you have harmed someone else. So it could be misdemeanor one, but I'm more going to be dealing with this series of videos with misdemeanor two and three. And that involves, things that the the police and the officers charge you for. So not so much a misdemeanor one. I know I am going to say things that maybe you're new to, and I want you to learn things. You have to educate yourself to stand up in court. So the first step that I avoided for many, many years in, if I ever had a court case myself, was to learn the federal rules of civil procedure. I glanced to them, I studied them, but I never really thought they were so important. But this is the first step when you're dealing with a court case. That's why not necessarily you want to go through to a court case to learn all this. You want to be prepared ahead of time to learn all these things. It is very, very important. So step one, when you're facing with the court, hopefully not right now, but preparing for if something happens, if you get stopped or, thrown in jail and all that, you want to learn and know these things. So the first step is the federal rules of civil procedure. So this PDF that I found online is from Nexus. Um, it is great. LexisNexis federal document. So I like this because it's a free download, and it's very simple, very simple to read. So I'll attach this to the comments, and so you can download this. So the first thing you want to do is learn these things. I skipped it for many years, and I really, really made mistakes in court. And but you learn from your mistakes, like I said. But first, if I wish I would have known all this when I first went to court. So I made mistakes. Yes, I did. So now I'm fixing my mistakes by learning the federal rules of civil procedure. Okay, you want to have I mean, a good understanding of these things, of the rules, because if you have a court case, like a misdemeanor two, misdemeanor three, you want to know when, if you're gonna put a motion, when to put a motion, when not to, when it's too late, when it's too early. So you want to know all these rules. Okay. Now the second step is to learn the rules of your state, of rules of the court of your state. So you want to do the federal, but also do the courts of, the rules and proceedings and all that, and procedures of your state. So I live in North Carolina, so I studied those. Like I said, the first time I went to court, I should have learned a little bit more because, you're dealing with people in the court that's their livelihood, they're attorneys and the judge, and that's all they do all day long. So they have a master. So for you to go there without knowing what's going on and the rules and all that, and you can just, like I said, in one of my court cases, I said, I moved to, uh, I was going to put I object to something, and I wanted to move. I should have said move. I moved to dismiss this case. I said I would like to dismiss this case. No, no, no. That's a no, no. That's a rule. So I made that mistake, and right away I kind of fixed it the second time I said it, but just to make sure you have to, it's like something that you have to understand these things. So you don't say I like, said I moved to, um, and then put it on the record and all that. So these rules are very, very important to understand. So I wanted to show you that. And then the second, and the third thing, once you master, not master, but understand all this so you understand what's going on in court, is to study all the things that you can do administrative, because the law says that exhaust all your administrative remedies. So you can put things in the docket of a case, and so you want to exhaust all your remedies, put in motions and stuff like that, and notices and all this. And you want learning the rules of all these of the court in the federal um, civil procedures. Then you understand what's the timeline. And there's other books out there that they can teach you that. So you want to be mindful of all this. Now, there's certain things that I've learned that to put in place first, whereas I learned it by mistakes. Uh, I didn't put it in timely. I didn't put it at the beginning of the case. I put it too late. So it's like all over the place. And I'm talking about not in my own case. I'm talking about in my own case, but I'm talking about helping other people with their cases. Like I knew how to do notices and motions and all that, but I wasn't 100%. I didn't know the rules completely. That's why I made the mistakes. But it worked out at the end, which is great. But you want to make sure you understand all this. So go through this and study as much as you can. You want to be prepared. You want to do your homework of, okay, now that'll be the third. And I'm gonna do a playlist one by one so we can explain each one of them. Okay. Now the fourth thing that you want to do, okay, the fourth thing that you want to do is to find the elements of your charge. Okay, if you are charged with something, you can just Google that, the elements, okay, because they need the elements of the charge. Is few elements, usually three elements of a charge. So you want to find out on Google, you were charged, let's say, with resisting arrest or resisting an officer. You want to Google that and say what is the elements of the charge. In that case, will be that the officer needs to be, a law officer, and it has to be a person that works. It cannot be just a civil, someone that's, out on the streets. And so that will be one element. And they made a lawful arrest. Let's say that you got arrested, and a lawful arrest in their duties. So that's the second element. And then the intent that you had to have an intent to, to resist the arrest. That will be like, most likely those will be the elements. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to do a disclaimer. I'm not an attorney. I am an attorney, in fact, but I'm not an attorney with the bar. And this is for entertainment purposes only. It is not legal advice, okay? Just take it with a grain of salt. So finding the elements, because you can find the elements in your private capacity. And then if you understand who you are in commerce and in your private capacity, you can have remedies, administrative remedies, meaning you can put things in your case and file things in the case that it could help you. And in many cases, it will dismiss the case before you even go to court. So you want to learn all these things. So the elements of the case is very, very important. So I'm going to make videos later on where I can show you, what elements are. So just for now, Google the elements. So if you're going through a court case, Google the elements of your case. Now you need to know there's two stages. There's two stages in traffic when it comes to traffic citations. When they have just give you a simple ticket like a traffic ticket, there's ways you can, in common law, administrative, you can take care of that. So if you get a ticket, then you can treat it administrative first, so you don't have to go to court. And then when they already arrest you, it's too late to rescind or discharge that. It's too late. They already probably gave you you know a bond and a warrant and all that, so you're already booked in a way. Now you have to remember, if you ever get arrested, they have to have it depends on, you have to look at it in your state, but you have to have a magistrate on duty. So you want to talk to the magistrate first. Nowadays, they're all in the fraud together. They cover each other's back. There's no good magistrate anymore. When I used to go to court and help a lot of people get out of jail and all that, there were good magistrates where I used to talk to the magistrate in behalf of somebody else, like one of workers that worked for us got in a little bit of trouble, and I used to go to the magistrate and talk to them and all that. Back then, they were good magistrates. Now, not 100%. I'm not saying 100%, but high probability that the magistrate are all in together with the officers, sheriffs, and all that, with all the department. So you have to be careful, but you still want to talk to a sheriff if you get arrested first. See if they might, because before booking you, you can speak to them if it's a good magistrate. I don't think nowadays there's one, but it might be one in your town, where you get arrested. So you want to try to talk to the magistrate before you get booked. Okay. Don't let you book you and then without talking to the magistrate. So that's one little tip. And so you want to learn about the elements of the court. I'm sorry, about the elements of the charge. Okay. So you can fight it in court, and you have to be properly documented. You want to do everything in your power to know. And then you want to learn how to do a FOIA request, send FOIA requests to these people, to the chief officer of the officer that arrests you, to the district attorney of your case. A FOIA request, you can also send it to the attorney general of your state and the commissioner, and all these things you can send FOIA requests. Not the commissioner, but what's the name of the other one? So of your state. So you want to do a FOIA request. So that a FOIA request is the first thing you want to do. Send FOIA requests right away when you have a case. And then you can request that. A lot of the times they don't answer you, but you want to have a track, like if you send a certified mail return receipt, you're going to have that green card as a testimony, as evidence that you send it, okay, with the signature that they signed for it. So you always want to do a FOIA request. The first thing you have a case, send a FOIA request to at least 3 people. Okay, the DA, the Attorney General of your state, and the police officer, the chief police officer would were the department that arrested you. So you want to do that right away. So those are the first things you want to do. And then I don't want to make this video too long. Um, and then that would be the first step that I would do in a court case for your request. And then the second thing that I would do, it will be uh, I will tell you in another video because it gets a little bit complicated. But you want to do certain motions, searches, sorry, not motions, but notices. You want to file some notices in your case, and you want to know the time limit, timeline of those. And so there's many things you can do administrative. So for all my people that got my business card on the bus that I was going to court, hello, welcome. If you got my card, this is all for you. I want you to get educated. I want you to fight it in court and be proactive in your um, in your defense. And just a reminder, if you can learn all this ahead of time before getting a court case, but before getting into these things that these people are putting you through, um, before you do that, do not accept, if you're going through a court case, do not accept a court-appointed attorney. That will bring you right there. They want you to lock you into the jurisdiction, their statutory jurisdiction, and they won't let you move. That's why they want to do that, because they want to lock you into their jurisdiction. If you can help it, if you learn all these things, you won't need an attorney. You can defend yourself. You can defend your rights yourself. I've seen a lot of things in court, a lot of things that violation of civil rights. I've seen so many crimes actually from these judges. Um, I was recently, going to the city, and I was recently in a court case where the judge violated this person's rights. It was so devastating, and I will tell you the story as a testimony in the next video. So please educate yourself with all these things. And then I do have a process in Gumroad that you can get right now if you're going through a court case, but I want to add a little bit more to it, some other steps. But you can hit my Gumroad, go visit my Gumroad. I have a free process that you can put in place, but I want you to understand these things first. And and then you can purchase that, which is how I how I dismiss my case. I have it on Gumroad, but I want you to get educated first before even trying these processes, because this is in common law and constitutional law. The process I did to dismiss my case, and I want you to get educated first on all these procedures, and then go. You can buy my process anytime, but I want you to get educated first. All right, I'm gonna leave it here, and sorry about that. I'm gonna leave it here, and I'll get another video going. All right, have a great day.